I'm doing a Raven King review today. These books keep falling. It's really annoying. Hey, what's up you guys, people of the internet, everyone who clicked on this very video. My name is Anna, and you might be thinking, whoa, Anna did something radical with her hair. Is she gonna be talking about social justice and gender again? Ooh, maybe later, not now though. I'm doing a Raven King review today. I finished Raven King it came out on the 26th. I finished it on the 28th, and then I read it again and again. I've read it 3 times by now. I'm obsessed and heartbroken. Also wearing a Raven Cycle t-shirt that says #Save Gancy 2K16 on the back. How exciting. I'm gonna pick this up once, and if it falls again, I will leave it on my bed. Row reflexes, it's gonna be on my bed though. Also, I don't have Blue Lily Blue with me at the moment because I'm lending it out to a friend. This review is gonna be separated in the non-spoilery section and a spoilery section. We're gonna start with non-spoilery section for the people who haven't read The Wonder that is the Raven King yet. Non-spoilery section, I'm just gonna grab the book. Non-spoilery section, this is a great book. I loved it a lot. I finished it and I had so many emotions. My family had to check on me if I died multiple times during the reading of this book, the two times I read it. I read it a bit too fast the first time, because when you read a book really fast you miss like important details of nice sentences or foreshadowing. And you miss that the first time if you read it really fast, but I needed to know what happened. So I read it really fast and I finished it and I was like, what do I do now with my life? I know! Let's read Raven King again. So that's what I did. This book is incredible. I really love the writing in it. I really love Steve Waters' writing in general. And it's like, how did she make words a bitch like this? It's incredible. What did she have to sacrifice? Only bad thing, these copies, I don't know if this was all copies or if they're different, but what it says on the back for the entirety of this series is really shitty. And it doesn't make sense at all. They're really weird on the back and you shouldn't. That's bad, because that makes you want to pick up The Raven Boys. Do anyway, because it's a great series. In the entirety of the series, because that's really all I can talk about in the non-spoilery section, because I can't talk about the plot of this, because it's the 4th book in the series. You can't have non-spoilers about this book, so I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to talk about the rest of the series. I love this series. It's probably... I don't want to say it's my favourite series because right there on the shelf my camera is standing on, there's Percy Jackson looking at me and Harry Potter looking at me. But it's really close up there. It's one of my 3 favourite series at the moment. And I love it as much. I really love the magical aspect, and I really am a sucker for those books which are set in a normal world but also have a magical aspect to them. I really love that because the characters seem more relatable usually, but magic. Also, the character development in this series is amazing, especially for Adam. That's not a spoiler. I love Adam Parrish a lot, and his character development and his character arc are art. They're great. I'm looking at my notebook, I'm sorry. I really like the family and friendship aspect of the story as well, because really often books are really based upon romantic relationships, and this book series shows that platonic relationships and family relationships are just as important, even though, like, if you think about a plot, it's kind of about romance as well, because it deals with the thing of true love, which I don't really believe in, but sure, I'll excuse that. They talk about that in the Raven King. But I really love that. I really love everyone's dynamics. I love the Gangsters' friendships and relationships. The foreshadowing in this series, oh Jesus Christ. Especially something I'm still not over, like nearly a year later, is in the Raven Boys. I won't say anything, but there's this one piece of foreshadowing. It's annoying me still that I didn't get it, and oh, I'm so frustrated about it, but I love it so much. It's kind of all I can say about the series. It's awesome. Read it. You will be in pain, but also joyful. You will be suffering, but you'll be happy about it. That. Now, about the Raven King, still non-spoilery. I had some little problems with it, but nothing big. I loved it a lot. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. When I first read it, I was like 5 out of 5 stars. I just finished it. It was still high on the adrenaline. But then I figured I did have some problems with it. Like, it's not perfect. So 4.5 out of 5 stars, but it's like more towards 4.8 out of 5 stars. The spoiler section of this review. I had some positive, mostly positive things about it, and a few negative things. I'm gonna dive into the positive first. I loved the writing. Maggie Stiefvater's writing is incredible. There's a few quotes that just haunt me so much, like, and that are so relatable to me. Something that haunts me, that's so sad, that I was like, oh, I need to think, but I can't, is at one point, when they've decided who is going to be the sacrifice, this is quite towards the end, Gansey is talking about himself and his magicians, his court, and he says he's their useless king, nothing to offer but his pulse. And I'm like, oh, Gansey, I love you so much, you mean so much to us. Pretty much that. I'm not ready to be over this series. I need 20 million spin-off series like Rick Riordan did for Percy Jackson. Okay, I love the writing. What I also really liked in the writing, I don't know how you call this in English. In Dutch we call it repetitio. I think it might be called that in English as well. It's basically that you repeat something, a phrase or a thing, and it is a writing tool. I don't know how stijlfiguur in Dutch. And it has, for example, in this book, it's 621 is a repetitio. And a repetitio that killed me, personally. And depending on where you began the story, it was about like that. And I really liked that. Both those. I'm a sucker for repetitio, and I think I was done really well. I also really liked that we introduced new characters and that they are given POV. I like being deeper in like the Grey Mantle, Neve, Henry Chang. I loved Henry Chang, which I'll get into in a second. I have 5 minutes. But I really liked more POVs, and I liked how they did that with the repetitio, like depending on where you began the story it was about, and then a character and you get one POV out of that character. I really liked that idea. I really like the character development still, because it is the end of the series and you can go back and see how far they've gone since the Raven Boys. Especially, I just said Adam, and Adam is incredible, and he's just, him going back in the epilogue to his family home and like standing up to his dad, standing up tall for the first time. And a really cool character development, yeah. Relationship development, should I call it that? All the OTPs got together. I love myself some Pinch. It's incredible. I really liked that throughout the book. I need to make this quick because I literally have 5 minutes. But I really loved how the relationship developed, and it wasn't like, obviously it wasn't insta love because it's the last book in a series, but I liked how they developed from friends to more than friends, and it's incredible. Also, I love the scene when they're in the hospital and Gansey's like, yeah, me and Blue are dating, and Adam's like kinda angry but kinda okay with it because he already knew, and he's like, I'm glad you're honest with me. And it's like, ew, gross. And then the tension's relieved and he does that so cleverly. So Blue and Ronan friendship is incredible. I love it so much. Ronan is very dear to my heart. Alright, the Barnes are awesome in my perspective. And also, like, the Lynches are awesome. They're bonding in this book. Declan and Ronan bond, become friends. Declan becomes the Orb Master. It's great. Ronan tries to throw himself out of a moving car because he doesn't want to talk about his future. He has this entire internal monologue about, romanticized monologue about what he wants to do in his life, and ends up thinking about being a farmer. Incredible. Also the fact that he becomes a farmer, I love that. Okay, Aurora's death. I was so blown away. I was so scared for Ronan. I was so sad. Also Capeswater, like, being corrupted. That hurt my heart. But Aurora, I was like, shit, Matthew is going to die when Ronan is being made. Because Declan was calling And I was like, shit, that means Matthew's dead. And Ronan is going to be the only Lynch left. Obviously the Declan, but like, still. That scared me so much. Aurora as well, because she was so sweet. Capeswater, I like Capeswater a lot. Capeswater's corrupted and that hurt my soul, because Capeswater is pure and amazing and dangerous, but also great. And just Ronan telling that he dreamt Capeswater, I like how it was like this real big confession with Adam, and it was like, whatever, I dreamt Capeswater, and to Blue and Gansey. But like, I feel like in this series we just get confessions for Ronan having dreamt the thing keep getting bigger. Like in the Dream Thieves, it's I took Chainsaw out of my dreams, and then in Blue Lily Lily Blue, which I don't have with me, we get like, yeah, I dreamt Matthew. Now it's like, oh, we Capeswater. He also confesses Matthew in this book, but still. So Capeswater's corrupted and that scares the shit out of me, but I also love it because the plot is great. Which makes for the demon, the third sleeper. And the sleepers, I have something about that, because I had a discussion on Tumblr. Who's the first sleeper? Because the second sleeper, the third sleeper is the demon, obviously. Then the second sleeper is either Gwenllian or Adam. And Gwenllian, because she was literally in a tomb, and Adam made a chapter about that himself, about why it would be possibly be him instead of Gwenllian, because Gwenllian wasn't technically asleep. The first sleeper though, we don't really know who it is, because we assume the entirety of the time it's Glendower. But then we find out Glendower is dead, and which isn't a negative thing. I like that about the plot. We find out Glendower is dead. So who was the first sleeper? Because I figured like it could be Ronan, maybe. It could be Gansey, because he woke up from death. It could be Ronan, because he keeps waking up from his dreams and stuff, right? So it could be all of those people, but someone on Tumblr, I don't remember the username, I'm so sorry, told me it's probably Gansey, because in the beginning of the book, someone draws 3 cards to represent 3 sleepers, and it's the Empress, the Devil, and Death. And that would be Gwenllian, the Demon, and Gansey. Which, I like that for Gansey, but I want Adam to be the second sleeper. But I find that's interesting. If you have any thoughts on that, leave comments below. I think the demon was pretty cool. Piper Grey Mantle was pretty cool. Too bad she died. Well, I mean, she was a bad person, but yeah. She deserved a more spectacular death. More fashionable death. Another thing I saw on Tumblr, which isn't really interesting, but I was talking about, was it who's the main character? Because the Grey Man says Adam Parrish and his band of merry men. And Mora says, I would say Dick Gansey and his band of merry men. I think that's really interesting, kind of leaning on the fourth wall, like Adam's the main character, boys. And I think that's really interesting because I would say Ronan Lynch and his band of merry men, because he is really the foundation of the story, the building blocks on which, like, the magical abilities that he has, and something accustomed to so much of the ground where they're building the story on. Well, Gansey's kind of the leader, the one everybody looks up to, and Adam's decisions and actions drive a lot of the plot. So I figure it's fun to see that Ronan's kind of like the foundation, Adam drives the plot, and Gansey kind of gives directions to the plot. And I thought that was really interesting. And there's a more elaborate post on Tumblr about this. Henry Chang, I loved Henry Chang. I didn't trust him the first time I read it, because it's like, shit, his mom is Sian Diak, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, and he put the B in Gansey's hand, and shit, he's up to something. He just wants to do that for his own good. He wants to find Glendower, he wants a favor, he wants something from them, and it's gonna be, I don't trust this kid, but I should have, because he's amazing. Now I trust him, I love him, he's great. Henry Chang. He's also very relatable. The quote he has about like language, like his native language was thought, and he wasn't less himself in English, he was less himself out loud. And what's the quote that comes before that? Henry was aware he had a great vocabulary. It wasn't the same as having the words to express your feelings, something like that. And I relate to that a lot because I speak 4 languages. I speak 2 languages fluent and 2 kinda. And it's just that even with all these languages, I still can't express the feeling in words. It's annoying, and I relate to Henry Chang, and he is pure and my son. Only three negative things I had about this book was Noah being forgotten. He's not forgotten, because a lot of people interpreted Quietly Slid from Time as they all forget about him because he hasn't happened, but it can't be it, because if Noah wouldn't have done that, the entire adventure wouldn't have gone, so they wouldn't have been there with Noah, so they need to remember Noah. I can't make it out in words properly, but they remember Noah. Noah's remembered. I am so sad he died for real this time, and also the possessions and stuff. Oh, the decaying. Oh no, you said it so bad. I'm so sad for him. Also, Kenzie not dying, Kenzie's arc, that's kind of about it. Because even though I'm wearing a shirt saying hashtag save 2K16, I never very much want him to be saved. It's just that Kenzie should have realized kind of how much he's worth to everyone. And I don't think he did that, because he goes with the nothing to offer but his pulse. There's he doesn't really realize his own worth, and that's really sad to me, because he needs to realize how much he means to everyone in the story and not doubt himself. But all Kenzie ever did was doubt. And that saddens me so much. And it's not that I want him dead. It's just that I want him realizing his own worth. And at the moment, all I can see that happening is him dying, which is really sad. But yeah. And then the last thing. Ronan made a racist joke about Henry, and Adam laughed, and I was like, why? Why? That's a trait you didn't have to add, Maggie Stiefvater. I enjoy your work, I respect it, but this was not necessary for the plot. It wasn't like they were racist all the time, and you don't have to make them that. Because, like, I understand, I mean, people say they use racism to make plot more realistic, but you don't need to do that, like, because Adam and Ronan have never really been racist. In the books, early in the books, and now they are, and it doesn't make sense to me. They shouldn't have done that. But I'm late for school. Fun. I didn't do anything with my hair. Also, I'm not just gonna do reviews from now on. This was my most anticipated release of the year, so I had to review it. I loved it a lot. And I said how many stars I'd given. 9 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5. Doesn't make sense. That is 9. 9.5 out of 10. Sure. I love this book a lot. I surely recommend you pick up the series. The first book is called The Raven Boy. Second book is The Twin Thieves. Third book, which I don't have right now, is Blue Lily Lily Blue. And the fourth and final book, unfortunately final, is A Raven King. This was it for this video. I love this book. I love you. Sure. And I hope you loved this video. I'll see you again next time. Bye.